just to start with an update on Gordo. We saw him get back into practice, still red jersey. He's had a morning skate with the group in St. Louis, and he was out there for the first 15 minutes or so of practice with the non-contact drills that were out there. So a continued progression for him, which is a good sign.
Dan, it's not a new look, but you have switched up your pairs a little bit today. What's the thinking about going there right now?
To get you thinking about it, and I think I say to get us thinking about it. So it's not a new thing. It's not a seen a good amount of time with Monty and Dunner, but seeing it is thought provoking and thought provoking for everybody. But I probably going to see something different tomorrow as well. So you can look for that tomorrow.
Get us thinking about it. After the game the other night, I mean, how much of that do you go back and really look at with the team as opposed to, like kind of just trying to forget about it and move on? What's the approach?
We're gonna look at a few things, which I don't think can be ignored. I think I'm not going to take solace in a loss in Tampa Bay, but on the 3-game road trip, we showed sign of playing some good hockey, both in Florida and in Tampa, and that wasn't there in St. Louis. So from that aspect, you want to reiterate Florida and Tampa and forget about St. Louis in that regard. So I think we got to take a good dose and a good balance of taking the positives of how we have been playing over the last 4 games, and underline it with the St. Louis being not who we are and not how we want to play.
You mentioned after the game, you mentioned the compete level. Was that the most discouraging, disappointing part of the team coming out of the St. Louis game?
I think I think yes, but I think the compete comes in a lot of different ways, and your ability to skate, your willingness to skate, your having your legs, and the compete follows. I also think you got to have an understanding when you're not all there, when you don't have your legs, you got to play a certain way as well, and you're not going to have your legs every night. Not every individual is going to have them every night, but you still have to play a way that gives you a chance to outcompete the opposition.
With Jared McCann scoring a goal for the first time in a long time, you notice anything different about his game?
Well, I think just the shot total coming out of the break, 5 in Florida and 5 in Tampa Bay. I haven't gotten to the number on the tape yet in St. Louis, but I'm not going to look there. But he's going to have the flank in the power play, the post in the power play, and I know there's 2 other shots 5-on-5 that he had as well. So I think just good to see him get a goal there, but better to see him underlining his game with being a pointed shot guy, not just a shot from distance, not just flippers on nets, where they're coming from, and the quality of those shots are huge indicators for his game.
When you have a guy that's historically a goal scorer and has proven that he's a goal scorer and he goes through a stretch like that, I mean, how do you even explain that, like that phenomenon in hockey where guys just can't find it for a while?
Yeah, I think you have to focus on the process, and you have to focus on the underlining details to what lead to goals. Not just hope for a goal to come by any specific way. And those are the things that we're, talking to Jared about, where we're going, how we're getting there, And then, being ready to shoot the puck when you're there. And so I think that's any goal score. It's an area that you can expand where you score, how you score, different ways you can score, and not just have it be one way, the flank on the power play, or you need to have a 2-on-1 coming down on your right side to be able to score a goal. You have to. He's shown history of scoring in a lot of different ways, and that's the focus, the process, so much, and that's why to get the result and get the game-winning goal in Florida was big.
How much does his personality, do you think, play into a slump like that, just because he's so hard on himself in good circumstances, and how much can that impact an athlete?
A lot, and I think that's why you gotta stay focused on the process and doing all the knowing you're doing all the little things and doing the right things, and to get the result. The result will come if we're staying in the process, staying and doing X, Y, and Z to get the opportunities. Because when you don't get the opportunities, then the confidence can really, it's being confident that if you're doing the right things, you're getting the opportunities. You stay the course. They will come eventually.
Start of the trip, you were optimistic that Jordan would be able to play in 2 of the 3, and then for him to go in all 3, was that surprising at all? And then what do you think of kind of how he looked at those over the course of those 3 games?
I think it looked so good and comfortable and skated well in game 1 that it just led to, and I always say to play, you can't play in them all if you don't play in the first one. And so, going into the game, yes, our discussions were 2 out of the 3, but also part of that was, if you can play well, look good, feel good, have jump, have your legs in game 1, we'll talk about game 2, and that's what happened.
Since he was scratched in November, you kind of talked about the decision to play Shane Wright in maybe some more limited minutes in a role that's going to kind of help build his confidence. And he certainly thrived in that, but kind of looking forward, is there a plan to maybe ramp up that ice time a little bit as the season goes on, or is this kind of the usage we should expect from him down the stretch?
Yeah, I think, this is a plan I don't want to include you on. I'll be quite frank, but I think.
Just, you can tell the rest of us, just argue. Don't tell Archie.
I mean,
If you tell I can leave. You can tell the others.
yeah, I shared 2 out of 3 with him, and then I gotta walk it back when he plays all 3. So, I think you've seen evidence of where he's grown in his game, and where he can continue to grow. And so what has that meant? It means, he leads our team in power play goals. He's now a fixture in a spot on one of those power plays. He's getting better and better and better at playing a 200-foot game and playing in the D zone, and sometimes that means taking faceoffs as well, and that's going to continue to potentially grow here in the next little bit.
Dan, Coco coming in that game on Tuesday, what did you think of the minutes he had? Obviously, that wasn't the plan, but what was your message to him?
Well, the message was get out on the ice. The message talking to him before, or when he got called up and got to St. Louis, was one thing. I think it was a good opportunity to jump in a game without the pressures of getting a start and dealing with it all day long and going into the game with whatever jitters your first game brings. Even when I told him on the bench, he was like, didn't have time to think about it, didn't have time to think about the situation, or getting his first time on the ice in the National Hockey League. Just got a chance to go out and play, and so I think it was a good opportunity from that standpoint, where he just play. just play. And we saw him do that. He looked pretty comfortable playing the puck. And, he had, like his first save was electric, I'll say. But a good dose for the 30 minutes that he played of getting the National Hockey, getting the experience playing in the National Hockey League, and that's part of his growth and development.
Dan, he was saying that Pekka Rinne was a guy that he loved watching growing up. Is there anybody that he kind of reminds you of over the years that he's seen?
He's uniquely himself, I'll say, and he's got a great moxie, and he's got a great swagger to him. I think that's a big part of him being a good goalie, and that you look at the 200 game mark as pro games as a kind of a point where you've seen a lot of goalies come into their own and be a full-time National Hockey Leaguer, and he's somewhere in the 50 game range in his career. So he shows a lot of promise. He's got a lot great personality and swagger, and it's evident right away. And I think, he's in that progression. You never want to put a label on it's 200 games, but he's early on in that progression of developing into a good goalie.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.